From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
All right, here we go with another Monday, my fiends. I trust you had a magnificent weekend. I mean, you know our Monday motto, right? If you're not in traction, you got no action.
What the hell kind of joke that?
Not a joke. In fact, I'm sitting here right now with my leg pinned behind my neck. How's that for a visual to start the week? All right, who's ready to take off on another action-packed adventure?
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the wrap. I'm going to put a nail in the Epstein file case for good. And get ready for what the Democrats want you to believe about them this week. I've got 5 actresses who say they deeply regret getting naked in movies. And have you ever wondered what a bunch of old retired prostitutes sit around and talk about? Wait until you hear this. Another round of head trauma is on the way. Today you can try your luck with a mystery voice, plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including Saw It on the X. That's what's coming up today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Monday, August 25th. Thanks for starting off your week with us. Oh, it was so hot this weekend in LA. So hot, so hot. We had the hottest weekend this summer, weather-wise. I'd say the feel-like temp was probably like 375 in your oven. But I did continue my 80s binge weekend that I started last weekend. Friday night, I watched Ghostbusters, first time in years. Then I picked up Caddyshack and Airplane on Saturday, Back to the Future 1, and National Lampoon's Vacation on Sunday. And it will continue this Labor Day weekend. I've got Porky's pulled out to start it. Yes, probably the original raunch-com, probably the most raunchiest raunch-com of the 80s. But that's 11 movies, 80s comedies over the past 2 weekends. So am I nuts about nuts or what? All right, this Friday is my 1-year anniversary on the Rat's Ass Podcast. If you can make it, we'd love to have you. We'll be doing a 1-year anniversary celebration. Shoot me an email telling me what you like and dislike about the podcast. I'm going to expose myself fully to you. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Part of the show will be that this Friday. Send them to ratsasspodcast@gmail.com, please. All right, let's get into the wrap. Over the weekend, the scuttlebutt over the statement made by Jeffrey Epstein's confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, about Trump not being involved with Epstein had Democrats fuming. They were fumigating all over the networks. They're saying her statement was forced testimony and that she was positioning herself for a pardon. Well, maybe. She's facing 20 years, wouldn't you? But here's the bottom line in all this for me. The Democrats were never going to be satisfied with anything she said unless she implicated Trump. She even said that Bill Clinton was pretty much a saint. Maybe that's her way of saying, this is a bunch of BS here. But the end game, again, like I said, if the Democrats had anything on Trump in regards to Jeffrey Epstein, they would have played that card right before the election to push Kamala Harris over the finish line into the White House. Now, Ghislaine has spoken. Okay, she can't go back and retract what she just said. Now, unless somebody actually saw something personally, they need to come forward. Or to me, the rest of it's just BS. I mean, Chris Christie got some exposure on the weekend talk shows. Of course, his fat ass always has to chime in against Trump. But he didn't see anything personally, so why is he even saying anything? He's just pissed Trump is president, and he still needs a staff of people to help him wipe his tuchus. All right, the Democrats now want you to believe they are the party of God. Cockeyed Cory Booker, senator, was caught on tape saying, if Jesus was still on Earth, he would be hanging out with the LGBTQ community and the illegal aliens, alluding to the Democrats have God on their side. And then California slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom's social media team started spreading this one on the social media networks, that Gavin was on a mission from God. Yeah, well, so were the Blues Brothers, and Jake was an ex-convict. So I'll take that for what it's worth. So I cannot stress this enough, though, to you folks. Beware of those who hide behind religion and claim to be doing God's work in his name. Some people do it legitimately, but not the godless party called the Democrats. Now, I've always found it kind of interesting how actresses seem to have no problem stripping down to do nude scenes early in their career, but after they've made their mark on Hollywood, they tend to always say, I really regret doing that. Well, I'm not buying it. I think they enjoyed every damn minute of it because it got them what they wanted, stardom. Then they played the regret card and want you to believe their desire to be a star made them a victim. Do you agree or disagree with that? I could be off my rocker. Let me know. But here are a few actresses who claim they have deep regret for ever showing their bodies in the naked form on film. Natalie Portman, Amanda Seyfried, Viola Davis, Kate Winslet, and the all-time showstopper for me is Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct. The uncrossing and crossing leg scene exposing her cooter. Yeah, she deeply regrets that one. But it shot her to stardom like you've never seen before. And I love Sharon Stone, by the way. She was fabulous in Casino, loved her in Total Recall. Good all-around actress. But I guarantee you there are a lot of men and lesbians who think the pause button on the remote is the greatest invention of all time. In fact, I believe there's a stat that's out there that says that scene in Basic Instinct is the most paused scene of all time. How they have that stat, I have no idea, unless they're able to track it on streaming. All right, while we're on the subject of cooters, what's that, Fleabag? What? Oh, the pumpkin lattes are back at McDonald's. I don't care. Oh, Jesus Christ, you stopped me for that? All right, back to what we were talking about. Have you ever wondered what old prostitutes sit around and talk about? We all know when we get close to the end of the road, we all like to sit around and talk about our life's journey. But what would you do if you knew your grandmother spoke like this with her friends in private?
Girl, he had me bent over that couch like I was 25, talking about he was stretching my arthritis out.
Chili, mine tried to blow in it like a Nintendo cartridge.
I told him, baby, you better slow down. This ain't no damn slip and slide.
Hell, mine said he was going to knock the dust off it, baby. I am the dust. Now get to fucking.
He said he was going to rearrange my guts, baby. I said, don't forget the starfish. Girl, he had me bent over that kitchen sink, talking about he was making dessert.
Shoot, mine tried to lick the plate clean. I had to brace on the damn fridge.
Baby, he ate it like he was digging for treasure. I had to grab the porch rail before he got to China.
Hell, baby, I took my dentures out, Ralph. Told him it's all gums tonight. He ain't never come so fast.
He called me the throat goat. I said, baby, these gums grip.
Bitch, you got that Hoover grip.
He said I drained him dry. I told him, boy, that little tank don't hold enough for me.
You will never look at Grandma the same again, will you? You know, the great philosopher Seth Maxwell once said, "Oh, hell, we're all whores in life. We might as well just be the best at it." Think about it.
Don't hold it against him because he's a Raiders fan who was dropped on his head at birth.
That's more than once.
Here is Mojo Elliott with Rat Sports.
All right, the 2025 NFL preseason is in the books, and it's about to get real on Thursday, September 4th, when Dallas visits the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. Now, on Friday, we will get our first look at the Kansas City Chiefs when they come here to L.A. to play the Chargers. The final cuts are tomorrow. Due by tomorrow, all 32 teams will turn in their list of guys who are getting the axe. So do this, guys. Be looking for some of the big names who get released, because that could change how you draft your fantasy football team. Now, generally, as a rule, I never draft a player who changes teams. New coach, new offensive coordinator, kind of challenging. I think the only time I did it was when Tyreek Hill went to the Miami Dolphins and took him number one. And worked out for me. But that's the only time I can recall that it did. I might take somebody that's traded towards the tail end of the draft. I'd rather do that than just take an unknown or somebody that has a chance at being good. That's the only time I would do it. But, hey, there are two races to pay attention to in Major League Baseball. The battle for the NL West between the Dodgers and Padres is going to make the final 32 games of the season interesting. Both are tied for first right now. And in the NL West wild card race, we got the Mets holding on to a 1.5 game lead, a game and a half lead over Cincinnati. The AL wild card looks pretty much set between Boston, New York, and Seattle, but Kansas City is only 3 games out. If somebody falters, they could sneak in. All right, check in the chat box at ratsasspodcast.com on the homepage. Richie Grossman said he's from Tucumcari, New Mexico, wants to know, what is your critique of the Raiders now that all 3 preseason games have been played? You know, they were looking at so many players. I don't think we really know what the Raiders have this season. I mean, when the first team played, they looked pretty good. They looked sharp. But I'm still concerned about Ashton Genty. I don't know if the Raiders drafted the back they thought they were getting. But everything else looks like it's going to be improving throughout the season. We'll see how it goes. Just the preseason's never any indication of what your team's going to play like during the regular season. All right, Anthony Posniak of Youngstown, Ohio, said, do you have a prediction for the Texas-Ohio State game this Saturday? Well, they're playing the game at the Horseshoe. I would never bet against Ohio State. I don't care if Texas is ranked number 1. Got to go with the Buckeyes on this one by 3. All right, that is sports today on The Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, today we are playing the mystery voice. Listen close and see if you can guess who this ungodly famous celebrity is.
A serial killer has a victim around the throat and chokes them till they pass out and then revives them so he can do it again. Do that.
Do that. All right, listen close. One more time.
A serial killer has a victim around the throat and chokes them till they pass out and then revives them so he can do it again. Do that.
All right, take a while and think about it. We'll have the answer for you coming up on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
All right, let's see what's happening on the Rat's Ass X feed. We call it Saw It on the X. American Values posted this one. It said, you just won $100 million. Who are you calling first? Rob Bemis said, I'm going to buy Cracker Barrel and restore it to its original full glory. Now, that's somebody who likes mashed potatoes and gravy with their meatloaf. All right, Gabe Williams, my realtor, says I'm going to buy a series of expensive gated home communities and surround myself with the whitest, most libtard humans and turn it into a circus. Gabe, stay off the crack, buddy. George Murphy, the best little whorehouse in Texas. That's some aspirations right there. Godly aspirations. I wonder if we'll run into the old grandmas there. Jenny Hester was probably the most honest. She said, I'm calling my boss. Now, as for me, don't think I'm going to jinx myself by thinking out loud here. Hell no, not going to do it. But I did find this out. Did you know when you take the cash up front after taxes? And that's if your state doesn't take taxes out. If the state takes more taxes out, it's going to be more. But you only walk away with 31.3% of the total amount. So this case would be $31.3 million if your state doesn't tax lottery winnings. Could you survive on that? I don't know how you could.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, have you watched The Kingdom on ESPN? It's the documentary about the Chiefs' attempt at winning 3 Super Bowls in a row that failed miserably when Philly beat them in Super Bowl 59. But reports say Taylor Swift was a big part and a big help to the production when she approved ESPN using all of her images and likenesses. Now, the one thing you have to admire about Taylor Swift is she knows how to get a lot of free publicity. I mean, she is milking this Kelsey heifer for all it's worth right now. Got to applaud her for that. All right, Page Six is reporting the judge in the Lively versus Baldoni sexual harassment case unsealed over 60 exhibits of text and email showing Baldoni orchestrated a smear campaign against Lively. Now, back in June, you might remember Baldoni's case against Lively and husband Ryan Reynolds for defamation and extortion was thrown out. The case will be tried next March. So between now and then, we're going to hear a lot of mumbo-jumbo about this, but things are not looking too good for Mr. Baldoni, are they? I mean, it's a good thing he looks like a New York cab driver because that might be his next career. It kind of looks like we have a bit of a love triangle happening right now, a little scenario shaping up between Zoe Kravitz, Austin Butler, and Harry Styles. Fans freaked out over the weekend. Again, social media where the people freak out. They go freaky deaky. When a photo of Kravitz and Styles was posted on social media because Kravitz is friends with Taylor Swift. Who isn't friends with Taylor Swift? And apparently Swift used to date Harry Styles. I didn't know about that one. Where has this girl been? So are you following this triangle thing? I'm just saying relax here because there is no girl code. It doesn't exist. Women share the same men all the time, and then you all get together and compare notes, don't you? Yeah, you do. Our girl Britney Spears has been recruiting men on Instagram again. Over the weekend, she posted a nude photo with a butterfly over her butt crack, wearing only knee-high boots. Yeah, who was saying, yeah, give me some of that? I will say that Britney has the sexiest blonde hair by Clairol, though. It covers almost her tramp stamp. Almost. Not totally 100%, but it's getting there. But who would believe, though, that Britney Spears would be now single for 187 days?
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, as you know by now, I do not read your email in advance. My producer, Fleabag, forwards me your name, where you're from, and rewrites them so I can read them rapid fire and on the fly. And no topic is ever off the table. All right, Tanya in Dallas, Texas says, if you don't know the bands who did these 3 song titles, you cannot call yourself a rock guru. Oh, we got a challenge on a Monday. Okay, well, let me screw my head on tight here. All right, song number 1, Carnival 9, first, second, and third impression. Song number 2, she said, in Kamudro, Hymn to Atman. Okay, Neil and Jack and Me. Okay. Those are the 3, huh? All right. Okay. All right, I'm not stalling for anything here because I got these nailed to the wall. Song 1, Carnival 9, First, Second, and Third Impression is Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Brain Salad Surgery. That album released in 1973. Let's see, in Comudro, Hymn to Atman was done by Kansas on the Song for America album in 1975. And then Neil Jack and Me, because I love this song. It's from the Beat album by King Crimson in 1982. How did I do? All right, Brad B., Fresno, California. I saw on your blog that you've streamed House of Cards with Kevin Spacey. What did you think about it? If you're into politics, I think you would love it. It's well done. Francis Underwood is a Democrat. That's how good it is. I watched a show based on Democrats. It's damn good. It's probably one of the best shows I've ever streamed. All right, Colin B., Bisbee, Arizona. If you could spend 1 hour speaking with someone famous who is now deceased, who would it be? Oh, put me on the spot. I would say Steve Jobs from Apple. He's been dead 14 years already. But yeah, it'd have to be Steve Jobs because he's the guy who basically, when he built Apple, he had to give up his own damn company and then come back and retrieve it again. So I thought he had probably the most interesting journey of creating a company, failing, and then having magnificent success. Somebody alive today would probably be along the same lines with Elon Musk. All right, Kelly A., Gary, Indiana. I met a man who wears an eye patch, but I acted like it didn't bother me, hoping he'd offer up the reason. I told him I'd go out with him this Friday night, but the eye patch freaks me out. I don't think I can make the date. What is the best way to get out of it? Oh, God, you guys swim around in such a shallow pool, don't you? I would say in cases like this, I recommend probably the death in the family excuse. Dead mom usually works best. Jax M., Sydney, Australia. What do you Americans do when a Sheila gives you a wrong phone number? Sheila's a female, by the way, in case you didn't know. Well, hopefully she gave you the right name and you can search for her on social media, Jax. I mean, if she gave you a wrong name and a wrong number, she doesn't want to be found. But if you do find her, send her a message and say, hey, I'm sorry I lost your phone number, looked you up on social media. Hope you don't think I'm stalking you, but I would love to take you to meet my uncle Angus Young of AC/DC. Call me and leave your phone number. And if you can, make sure you're standing in front of a Ferrari when you send it. All right, if you have any questions, observations, or comments, send them to my producer, Fleabag at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. The more outrageous and salacious, the better.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, we're playing the mystery voice today. Did you figure it out? Let me play it again for you.
A serial killer has a victim around the throat and chokes them till they pass out and then revives them so he can do it again. Do that.
All right, if you said Brad Pitt.
Yeah, baby.
You got it. But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I got to run. My friend Moose Knuckle Mike and his wife Camel Toe Candy are dropping by a very special one-year anniversary gift to me, and he said it's something to smack and whack with. But I do have one more thing for you. Have you ever heard of allodoxophobia? Allodoxophobia. It's the fear of hearing other people's opinions. So if you're listening right now to this podcast, you definitely don't have it. So praise Jesus and amen to that.
Hey, before you do the shout-outs to Rat Nation.
Yes, Alexa?
What do you think Moose Knuckle Mike and Camel Toe Candy are dropping off?
My suspicions are that it's a pickleball racket because he's always bugging me to go play pickleball. And I said, I don't have a racket. So I have a feeling it's a pickleball racket.
Well, if it's a pickleball racket, nobody smacks and whacks it better than you meet.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I'll smack you with it.
Don't threaten me, Mojo. I'll kick both your hairy butt cheeks.
You all heard it. She has threatened me yet again. I may need witnesses at some point. All right, welcome to Rat Nation. Teague Wallace from Rochester, New York. Greg Baxter, Chicago, Illinois. Michael Malfajo in Reno, Nevada. And to the Resistance, those of you who email us but haven't joined Rat Nation yet, we're at 501 strong. We have crossed the 500 mark. Getting closer to that 1,000 goal. Mindy C., Flagstaff, Arizona. Justin H. in Destin, Florida. Polly J. in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And around the world in Vancouver, Canada, Bristol, England, and Wellington, New England.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go check it out at ratsasspodcast.com and get the entire Rat's Ass Podcast experience. It'll blow your mind. You can listen to podcasts, rock out on Rat's Ass Rock TV, Read the blog that's loaded with lots of hot topicality. Plus, you can still join Rat Nation without having to qualify. We'll do this again on Wednesday, August 27th. Take care of each other, and thanks again for dropping by. The Rat's Ass Podcast.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.